and welcome to the month of May, which is so exciting on so many levels. If you're an educator, it means so many things to you. So many in so many ways. And if you're not an educator, it's, you start thinking about life changes in the summer, and that's exciting. It is not very summery outside that window today, but that's okay. We're going to ignore that, and we are going to enjoy our show today about a summer of series reading. So I am Martie Hoofer. This is the Lit Gals, and we are glad you are here. I am the digital content manager for Keep Indiana Learning, and Anna, I will throw it to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome and happy May. My name is Anna Cook, and I am a professional learning consultant, primarily in literacy, and just so happy to be here. Morgan?
Hi, I am Morgan Mason. Happy Race Week to anyone that's celebrating out there. It's an exciting week in Indiana. I am a professional learning specialist here with Keep Indiana Learning, and I also spend most of my time in the early literacy realm. So I'm so excited for our show today. I missed last month, so I am happy to be back with my Lit Gals.
Mm-hmm. We missed you, Morgan.
I missed you guys too.
All right. Well, we have a couple of announcements here as we wrap up season 3. Morgan, you want to go ahead and give us the first one, which is super exciting.
Well, yes. So I was actually inspired by my girl, Jenna Bush Hager, on the Today Show. Mm-hmm. She does a Read with Jenna book club every month, and she released a summer reading list. So I texted the girls and I said, hey, what if the Lit Gals, we released our own summer reading list? So we are working on a summer reading list that is going to be out sometime next week. So look for it on social media. We are going to compile a list for everyone. So we're going to have everything from picture books to adult books that we think will pair nicely with the warm weather and hopefully some time off and some vacation this summer. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be super fun. And then Martie, you also have an announcement for us.
Yeah. Kind of the opposite of that we'll be taking our summer months off from the Lit Gals, just like we always do. So we will always be reading. And we hope you are always reading as well. But you can go back, catch some of our prior episodes, and we will be back with you later in the fall with more books for all ages and fun banter. And so, Anna, get us going this month. What are we talking about?
Well, this is very exciting for all of us because we really do use the summer for a lot of reading, right? And so today we're going to talk about summer reading, and more importantly are focused on series. So some series of summer reads that we might suggest, or that we're going to definitely be reading ourselves. And so I would like to start it out with first a wonderful series for, I'd have to say second grade through fourth. It is the Bad Kitty series. My oldest grandson got me into this, the Bad Kitty series. And at first I was a little bit apprehensive. They're definitely, they're cute. They're really a good little read for second through fourth. And the thing that I love about them is that it is a graphic novel of sorts. Mm-hmm. And then some of them are just like, black and white, just the story, if you will. So, and this was one thing that I learned about my own grandson. He said I was going to get him some in the series for summer. And he said, Oma, don't get me any graphic novels. I don't want them. Isn't that interesting? He said, I just want the printed ones.
Really?
Yeah. Fourth grade.
Okay.
Fourth grade.
Okay. He's figuring out what he loves. And
Okay. Yeah, so I thought that's great, but like I said, they've, she's got both.
Okay.
So, or he's gotten both. So that was for the for children. And for adults, I've got to tell you guys something. I know I brought him up a couple of months ago. Martin Walker, the Bruno chief of police, he's got a series. And I absolutely love his writing. But the thing that I love the most about his writing is that it really takes you to that place. And isn't that what summer reading is all about?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Taking you to that place and really enjoying that area. And so, like I had told you before, this is in a small town in France. And I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen again because there's, once again, lots of French words, and I can't handle French words when reading. But when listening, it was just an absolute delight. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to read the series. I think there's 6.
So thinking about that, the French words as you listen and it taking you to the place. I don't know. That's such a neat aspect of listening to it that you miss when you read it. That those accents and those kind of things, and in this case, the language itself. I don't know. So that's interesting. I think Morgan, you were going to say something as well.
I actually was going to ask a question, and you may not know the answer yet, depending on how far you are in the series. But is each series, does it have the same main character? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Isn't
just
that
curious.
wonderful?
Yeah, because I read some recently where it's the same characters, but the main character or the perspective changes throughout.
But yes, this is the same character, Bruno. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So
and then people in that area.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to deviate here. I think, Anna, you still have one more to talk about, but I want to ask a series question.
Okay.
I find that students, so I taught middle school, I found that students often loved series. Like once they got into one, they were then hooked.
You are
for
right.
a long time, however many there are. Do you think it's because you don't have to meet new people every time? Is it because it's familiar? Is that one of the allures of series reading? Or talk to me, what pulls you into a series? Or I don't know. Let's unpack that a little bit.
I wanted to say, and I remember this vividly when I was in middle school and in high school, it seemed easy. So you're right. I didn't have to think about a new character, or I didn't have to think about the setting. I already knew it. It wasn't a surprise. I hate to say this, but it was almost as if I didn't have to really think.
Right. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's why I gravitate towards certain series for that reason, because you do, even great books, I feel like when you're starting out, I mean, you're trying to get to know the characters, you're trying to figure out where this author's going to go, and it takes away, if you're reading a familiar series, that takes away some of that mystery, and like you said, you don't really have to think about it very much. You just kind of get to sit back and just enjoy it. And I will say that so this is a little off topic, but I watch a lot of reality TV, and it drives me crazy when they introduce new characters on the reality TV in the 5th season. I'm like, hold on, we've established these really strong relationships, and you're going to bring in someone new that I don't know and I don't like. So I feel like you could say the same about series.
Well, and the same goes with my grandson, 4th grade. I'll never forget, we were just sitting on the beach and just talking about different things. And I said, babe, what do you like to read? And by golly, he mentioned 2 series. They were series. Yeah. And so I think you're right, Morgan. I think that there's some comfort.
Yeah. Okay. I just never thought about that before until something about what you said, Anna. I was like, wait a minute. Maybe it's I'm going to a place I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of going to a place I know and love.
She really set you up for this.
And it was unrehearsed, girls, wasn't
we
it?
did
It
not
was
play that.
not rehearsed at all.
Nope.
Oh, girls, this is it. This is the last one in the Nantucket series.
Oh.
And she came out with it last year when I was in Cape Cod. And a friend of mine called me up and said, "You've got to get that book. You've got to get that book when you're in Cape Cod." And I said, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to say goodbye yet, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I cannot wait. I'm going to wait until June, but I am definitely going to read. This is her last one in the Nantucket series.
Okay. And how many are there in that series?
Well, and this is one that, Morgan, I don't think that you would like, because it's not, you know, just like you said, she introduces new characters.
Okay.
Yeah. So in answer to your question, I think like 10 or so.
Okay.
But Swan Song is her last one, and she wrote it last year and it came out in June. But like I said, I didn't want to read it until I'll read it now, though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Along with Hotel Nantucket and The Castaways.
You'll be busy.
Love it.
You guys, thanks for hanging with me on this whole season. But after The Perfect Couple, I just thought, I've got to read everything that she's ever written.
Yep.
So,
and that's okay.
And you're doing just that.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right, Morgan, what series? Okay, we have not talked about this at all. So, Morgan, I am so curious, because often you bring like early reader books.
Yes.
And so I can't wait to see where you go. I have no idea where you're going, so I'm so curious.
So I had to think about this one a lot, and I actually went and sat in front of my kiddo's bookcase and looked at all of the books, because I was like, have we really read a lot of series at 2 years old? And the one that we are just now starting to dabble with that I wanted to mention, because I know that it's popular, is the Fly Guy series.
Oh.
My Wells loves those books. He thinks that they are so funny. We have, I think, 3 or 4 of them now. And that has been like our first real series that we've explored. But those are fun. They're quick reads. They're funny stories. I mean, it's about a fly that has a personality and a family and friends and all that. So those are fun. And I had physical copies to bring, and I left them at home per usual. I feel like I always do that. But those, and then I was thinking back on myself as a kiddo, and if there was a series that I really enjoyed, and I realized, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to get these back I gave them to my sister who teaches currently, but I said, I'm going to have to get them back from her when my kids get old enough. It's the Boxcar Children.
Oh,
I think I read every single one of those. And that's just a series. It's like timeless. Like I think kiddos, I assume kiddos are still reading those. I loved those books as a kid. So I have quite a few that I'm going to have to ask her to return to me so that I can share them with my children one day.
Morgan, when I was working for Scholastic, I used a lot of Fly Guy in my professional learning. And the teachers were the same exact way. They were like, oh, Fly Guy. They loved that series.
They are so fun.
Yeah, they're just fun. Yeah, they're fun, but definitely something you can teach. I mean, with the kids, there's teachable moments in those books as well. So yeah. And Boxcar Children, Alexandra read the whole series as well.
So good.
I totally forgot about that.
Me too. I don't know that I ever read the Boxcar Children, but I certainly remember seeing them in the elementary school library. And aren't there like a bunch of them?
There's a ton.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And there may have even been some released after I kind of graduated from that phase. So I'll have to dig into that as I'm exploring. I mean, my kids are far away from being ready to read those, but eventually one day, hopefully they will. And then I did want to mention one more adult series. that it's pretty popular right now. I'm sure that you ladies have heard of it, the Fourth Wing series.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, okay. So you have to check it out. But I don't know. It's fantasy.
So that's probably why I haven't heard of it.
So, dragons and like that kind of stuff, which is not something that I normally am interested in. I read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Someone was like, you got to read those. And I loved it. And so then this Fourth Wing series, there's 3 books, and that started to really take off. I mean, it's all over TikTok. They're very popular books. And I've read all 3 of those and loved them. My only complaint is that we now have to wait. Like she hasn't written the 4th book. I know there's going to be a 4th book, but we have no idea when it's going to be coming out. And
how long has it been since the 3rd one?
The 3rd one just came out a couple months ago.
Oh,
but I read it. So, I just read it in a few days, and then now I'm like, okay, now I have to wait.
Yeah.
And everybody has all these theories about what happened. And I said, by the time she actually releases the 4th one, I'll probably have to reread the first 3 to remember what's happening. But that's a fun series, and it's different, like I said, than what I normally read. So, yeah.
All right. Well, my turn, I guess. This topic I thought this is going to be a challenge for me because I'm not a series reader. It's just not how I'm wired. I shared that in my book club last week, and they looked at me like, what is wrong with you? Like, why don't you read series? And I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just don't read series. So I do have to, though, as I was thinking about it, as a child, I would say the books that got me hooked into reading was the Little House on the Prairie series.
Aww.
And I had the yellow box, and I still have this yellow box of all 7 or 8. So it is a series that got me hooked as a reader. So it is critical in my reading life that there are series. It's just not what I gravitate to now, which is interesting. So when I was thinking like, okay, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, I have no idea. And so finally I remembered this one. This is called the Selection series by Kiera Cass. It's a young adult series. Think Hunger Games meets Cinderella.
Oh, that's
kind of my best description.
Okay.
You get to know this main character, and I will say the covers of these books are stunning. She's always in a different dress, and they're beautiful. This is the first one. And it came out in 2012. So this is a series. There's like 7 books in the series. I read them, Morgan, just like you were just talking about, as they came out, one at a time.
Yeah.
Years in between. So then when I'm telling students about them, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm like, the next 5 are sitting on that shelf over there. You just trot on over and grab the next one. I waited years.
You don't know what it's like.
Yeah. So this is one. It's a little rom-com-y, a little thriller, a little Hunger Games-ish. So yeah. So then I was telling a friend that we were going to do this show today, and she's like, Martie, I can't believe you haven't read this young adult series. So I'm like, oh, I have time before our show. It's called The Inheritance Games. And this is also what I'm reading right now book. There's 3 of these. It's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This lady must write series all the time because when I looked her up, she has multiple series. Wow. But in this one, the main character is Avery, and Avery inherits like $42 billion from someone she doesn't know. And she doesn't know why she's inherited $42 billion, but there's 4 grandsons that are really interested in why did Avery get it and she not. And so it's fascinating. It's classic YA. I mean, like the chapters are 2 pages long. I'm on chapter like 63 because there's so many chapters. But it makes it a great summer read because it's real easy to sit down and pick back up because the chapters are like 2 pages long. Yeah. But there are 3 of them. And I made a commitment to my friend who told me about it. She's like, you have to at least read the second one. So I'm going to at least read the second one. And then by that point, I'll be sucked in enough that I'll have to read the third one too.
You'll read them.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay, so, report back. I'm interested if you like it.
Yeah. I I do like this one so far. It's weird to know that there's 2 more. So I'm stuck thinking, well, how's this one going to end if I already know there's 2 more? So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to bird walk or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
Morgan, couple of months ago, we talked about abandoning a book.
Yeah.
Have you done that yet? No, she hasn't.
I don't think I have.
Never mind.
I don't think so.
It's thinking really hard.
Okay. But
I don't think I did.
So I asked my book club that question after that show, and everybody's like, oh yeah. And there's this
I'm
one
the
girl.
odd one out.
And no, there was one, Morgan, and she was like, no, never. And we're like, what? And I'm like, so Morgan, you and Brandy need to have a conversation about how you never abandon books, because the rest of us are fascinated by you.
Once I do abandon a book, I will text you both and let you know.
Please. And it will be on the first show that we have for the next season. Oh yeah.
Hot news.
Guess who abandoned a book?
I'm feeling the pressure to just abandon one. Like, ooh, I might love it, but I gotta stop reading it.
You've got this summer though. You've got the whole summer.
I do. And I will say to that point, which we talked about this some, and Martie, this kind of goes with maybe why you don't gravitate towards series too. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're good about exploring books and things that you wouldn't normally pick up or that have like, and I'm a creature of habit. I feel like I gravitate towards the same types of books. So I wonder if that has something to do with it as well.
Mm-hmm. That's a good theory, Morgan. I like that theory. Yes. Yeah. Martie's very eclectic. Martie will just pick up. She's very eclectic,
and she's very good about that. Like I admire that about you, that you're always looking for. I guess just things that are different than what you would normally pick up for yourself. So I love keeping track, like on Facebook and stuff, of what you're reading. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I will never read that because I would probably abandon it. So I'm just not going to put myself in that position.
Well, and I wonder if that leads to my aversion towards series, in that I feel like that's a huge time commitment. Like if I'm going to start, I'm committing to this for a really long time. And I wonder if that's, I don't know, something that like turns me off. I'm like, but I could be reading all these other things. I don't know. That's
I totally get that, because there is the same author of A Court of Thorns and Roses has another series that actually another coworker here told me. She's like, you have to read it. You may even like it more. And I told her, I said, I'm just not ready to commit to another like 10 book series. Like that took me a long time. And like you said, there were other things that I didn't read in the meantime because I was locked into that. So I feel like that's fair.
Yeah. Fascinating. All right. Well, now I think it's my favorite part of our show is what are you reading now? Because talk about eclectic. This is where it gets really wild. My friends who listen to and read and all the things. So Morgan, reading and listening, what you doing?
I am. Yes. So I just started Tell Me What You Did by Carter Wilson. And just from the title, you can tell that that's going to be a thriller. I'm not very far. Like I just started it on my Kindle. It is, but what I do know so far is that this person hosts a podcast where people come on anonymously and they confess to things that they've done.
Ooh.
Yes. So I don't really know where it's going to go. It has really great ratings. So I will report back, but it definitely is one of those that hooks you right away.
Yeah.
So I'm reading that, and then I just finished listening to The Women by Kristen Hanna. I don't know if either of you have read that one. I love Kristen Hanna. And that one I actually got it for my grandma for Christmas, and we did a little book club together.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So but I did listen to that one because I just, you know me, I always have to have something to listen to. And I loved the story. I learned so much. I mean, there's so much about even like the Vietnam War that I didn't know about. I will say, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but the main character kind of annoyed me throughout the book. But it ended up being fine. But there were just times that I was like yelling at her, like, what are you doing? But overall, I thought it was great.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
Anna, have you read The Women?
I haven't, but you had talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've never read any other Kristen Hanna. It's my only Kristen Hanna experience. I know, Morgan. I know. I've now got a list of like other more.
One next week, my favorite one.
Okay. There's 2 plot twists in The Women that I didn't like, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Is there are 2 that no, I don't like that. Yeah. However, I found the last chapter to be one of the most moving chapters of a book I have ever read.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So big fan of The Women. Yeah. All right, Anna, what are you reading and listening to?
Zero Fail. Look how big. It was a book club book.
Oh.
Girls, I'm a changed reader. I'm just a changed reader. You won't recognize me when we come back in August. You won't. Absolutely loved this. It is by Carol Leoning. She has won the Pulitzer Prize, I think, 3 times. She writes for the Washington Post. Mm-hmm. And she also is an on-air contributor for MSNBC and NBC News. This was fabulous. This is all about the Secret Service.
That's interesting.
It was very interesting. I didn't realize. I put the Secret Service up there with like the Green Beret.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh. Okay.
Oh. Okay. So Anna, something I always do with books like that is I look and see the end. How many pages are index and bibliography and like notes? So how much of it is research that you don't have to read?
Oh, she had done, because I was going to talk about that. She had done, well over 100 pages of end notes or footnotes. She interviewed over 180 people.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
This was very interesting and very surprising.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm curious.
So
now.
and it reads like a novel. Okay. So it's not like and then JFK blah, oh no, it reads like a novel.
Okay.
Yeah. This was fabulous. But once again, girls, it was a book club book.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else lighter, or is that's what got you right now?
No, girls, that's about it. In a month.
Yeah.
Point taken.
Anna's got to work too.
Yeah. That whole work thing, it really gets
getting in the way.
Yeah. So mine, The Inheritance Games, like I said, that's my current read. But I thought since I was using this book for the other part of the show, I'm like, Martie, that's copping out. What are you going to do? Well, as I always said to my students, when you're a reader, you know what you're going to read next. And so my next read, Anna, is for a book club. And I'm in 2 book clubs. One's virtual, one's in person. And this same book is coming up in both book clubs in the next 6 months. Tells you something about
that's
the book.
Yeah.
So here we go. Next is
it's not green.
You got that.
I do. So this is my next read, and it's pretty thin, and it's John Green, so it'll be a good read.
I'm excited to hear about this one.
Please, make it August. Make it August. No, really. Make it August. Okay.
Yeah. So I have to read it for the online book club. like in the next month or so. So
Right,
I'm
but
gonna,
keep it for
Yeah.
your, this is what I read.
yeah, I will. So the history and persistence of our deadliest infection is
Okay,
the
interesting.
subtitle.
Oh,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
very good. Mhm.
I'm very excited, very,
Mhm.
very excited. How often does People magazine blurb books, but they blurb the
Yeah.
back of it? That's
Yeah.
wild.
That's
All right, so there's my current reads. Well, we have more than filled our 30 minutes today, Lit Gals. It feels right, our last show of the season, that we would run a little long.
so much to say.
All right. So be well.
Do good work.
Keep in touch. We'll see you in August.